another story time. I'm gonna break it down. By the time I came up with a little bit of money, 35,000 at one time. No gangster, no street shit or nothing like that or whatever. Long story short though, I'm gonna keep it brief. Daughter was born 2001, 8/11, a month before 9/11. So boom, I was in the streets at the time. I said I can't be in the streets. This shit it's not gonna be enough. Find a job finally, working at Wegmans warehouse, 40 hours a week, mandatory overtime, bringing in a nice little amount of chicken or whatever. Boom. 4.5 years down the line, I end up fucking my shoulder up on the job. Goes out on workers' comp, out for a little while, end up having to go see a doctor or whatever. They give me x-rays. Oh, your shoulder fucked up, your collarbone. So I end up having to getting a surgery or whatever, getting the end of my collarbone cut off or whatever. They had to grind something down or whatever. My shit was just like popping out of place every time I moved it. So I'm out for damn near a year. Probably not even like a year, probably like 5 months. Goes to physical therapy, get back right, so-called get back right, goes back on the job on some restriction shit. Probably like lifting 20 pounds, no more than 20 pounds. It probably was less than that, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20, whatever. And Wegmans warehouse, that shit was heavy duty. That shit on assembly lines or like walking around building pallets in a warehouse. Shit was hefty over there. Dog food, all types of wild shit. Six packs of bleaches, all types of wild shit was up in there. So anyways, goes back for like a month on some restriction shit. And then they end up telling me like, yeah, we can't have you up in here on some restrictions. So I goes back out, goes back on workers' comp. So boom, it goes from getting paid my full workers' comp amount to getting paid damn near, goes from $700 a week to probably like less than 200, or probably 200 and some change or whatever. So they end up doing that for a little while. Then they said, give me a little notification like, yeah, they gonna probably have to terminate me, but they gonna have to break me off some little change or whatever. So goes to the workers' comp lawyer. I think it was Connors and Ferris. I think Ferris was my lawyer or whatever at that time. I think he passed away, or one of the two passed away or whatever. But yeah, he goes in there, fights the case or whatever. So boom, I goes to their doctor. They tell me I'm like 65% handicapped, disabled or whatever. Goes to the Wegmans independent doctor. They tell me I'm like 50 or 55. So they came up with a little agreement, like on some 60% shit or whatever. So they based it off of, this was when I was like 18, 19. They based it off of two-year payment. So basically, I would probably would have made, at that time, it was 2001, I'd probably would have made $30,000 a year. So altogether, it probably would have been like, I think it probably wasn't even 30, but I think the total probably was like, the total settlement thing or whatever that we came up to probably was like, I think it was 56,000. Boom. I'm like, yeah, that's whatever. So I think my lawyer got like 5%, 10% or whatever. 5 or 10% or whatever. I know he ended up getting like probably like 6,000 or whatever. But boom, he gets paid 6,000 off of 56,000. Get some change. Then they turn around and say, boom, you was out on workers' comp for that little while. So we're gonna take that off the top. Boom. At that time, I probably got like 18,000 total, in between 15 and 20,000 in workers' comp pay the whole time I was out or whatever. So they take that off the top. Boom. So that breaks the 56 down to like probably like, I think the total amount I got was 35,000. I'll never forget this day in my life. So this whole time, the second time I went out and he cut my shit down, cut my workers' comp down, I was sick. Like damn near broke. Like I said, it went from 700 to probably like 200. And mind you, at this time I had a daughter. So that shit wasn't enough. That shit wasn't cutting it. That shit definitely wasn't cutting it at all. So I was hurting, like sick. I was at my mama house or whatever. So that was the good thing about it or whatever. But I'm talking about rides, all this shit going back and forth to workers' comp court. I'm walking there. This shit was downtown. I'm living on Shelter Street at the time. Goes do all that shit, but I never forget this. All through all that struggling and all that wild shit, I never forget this day. This probably was like a couple days before Thanksgiving. It was November. I know for a fact it was November. I go check the mail. I see a I think it was either Wegmans, Connors Affairs, or whatever it was. It was like an envelope or whatever. So I popped that thing open. It was a fucking check, 35,000 and some change. Nigga, you don't understand how crazy that felt like at that time. Like I said, I started there like when I was like 18 going on 19. So four almost 5 years later, I'm like 23 or whatever. It's like 2004, 2005. Seeing that, went from damn near being broke, having like waiting for the weak ass check to come, the workers' comp check, $200 to come, to seeing that 35,000. Man, I was elated. I was fucking happy as a bitch. So, like 2000, yeah, it was 2004. No, it was 2005. Matter of fact, I remember this shit like. So it's like November. Boom, bust that check. I went to ESL ASAP. Deposit that joint. I'm trying to get money off the top. They like, yeah, you can't. You only get like $100, $100 or two, whatever. Got that 100. Waited for that joint to clear. Instantly went shopping. Like I said, 20, 23, 24, and like young-minded. 23, 24, young-minded as a bitch. Instantly. It was Christmas time coming up. Splurged on everybody. Gave somebody some money. My kids, took care of my kids. You know, usual shit. At this time, my second daughter was born. Taking care of shit. And this was like Super Bowl time, whatever. I think it was like February. Yeah, it was February. Finally looking for a car. This was when Chevys, Bubbles, box Chevys, all that shit, that wild shit was in. I mean, that shit was in style up here or whatever. So I'm looking on the net, looking for shit, and I found a nice little bubble joint, a bubble Chevy, probably like a 9.6 bubble Chevy in like Indiana. They probably want like 4,000 for it. And I had planned to end up getting that joint. But long story short, I found something in Detroit. Shit on 7 Mile, yep. Yeah, the car shop on 7 Mile. Goes there, looking up shit, going there for a Chevy. Boom. See these Cutlasses. Like seeing like an 87 Cutlass. They had like a cream joint, and then they had a burgundy with the sprinkles in it. Seeing that joint, I'm like, yeah, I definitely got to get that. A coupe too. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to come back to the town and crush them with this joint. Goes up in the shop. This shit, the car alone, that shit was clean as hell. The car alone probably was like 4,500. Goes up in the shop, looking at the rims, see the 22s with the nice heavy plate. Yeah, let me get those. Let me get I had like probably like a few 12s in the back, 2 amps, all types of wild shit. So, they had the wood grain steering wheel, whatever. All together, that shit probably came up, when I added everything together, that shit probably was like 75, damn near $8,000. I don't know why the fuck I did that, but I had to spurt, you know what I mean? All that struggling, make a motherfucker could just go do a little bit too much for themselves. But anyways, I got that joint, drove that shit back, came back to the town. That shit was definitely a head turner. Like I said, this was like, I got that shit, drove that shit back in February. So you put that joint up in storage, put that shit up in storage, bring it back out in the summer. I'm getting pulled over left and fucking right all the fucking time. I'm unlicensed anyways. I had a fucking, probably like a permit. Man, motherfuckers like, oh, they came up or whatever. I'm like, boy, this shit, I was really fucked up. My shoulder fucked up to this day. I think I still got the scar on this joint. Yeah. The scar right here. Had to get that good ass surgery. Cut off my damn collarbone or whatever, the end of it. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to break down the story when I got that 35,000 one time. No bullshit. Had to look over my shoulder. Had to do no bullshit. Just had to go through a little pain. Or the mother, my shoulder was fucked up.